Hello everyone! So I've got a really fun cookbook for us today. Now, my husband Mitch picked this up at the library book sale and he wanted to try this because he thought it looked really good and I think he got a good one. Now, I've looked through it and spoiler alert, I actually really like this cookbook and I'm really hoping that this tastes good so that I can keep on liking this cookbook. Now, last episode we did top secret restaurant recipes. This cookbook is kind of along the same vein. We've got best loved recipes from name brands, all compiled into one really thick cookbook. Now, the name brands are just all over the place and you just never know which is going to pop up, which I'll show you a little bit throughout the cookbook in just a little bit. But first, I wanted to say that this weekend we were so busy because we went to a little hidden gem called Paint Creek here in Greene County, Tennessee, and I'll show you just a little tiny clip so you can see exactly why it's a hidden gem. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we've decided that we're gonna go ahead pretty soon to go and camp there, which is going to be really fun because we're going to take you along and I'm going to show you some camp dinners we're going to try that are hopefully going to turn out fairly simple. Outdoor cooking can be kind of touchy sometimes, and hopefully the recipes will be really good so I can show you one of my favorite little camping cookbooks that I think you will love if you do a lot of camping yourself. Also, some of you may remember this little guy when I made my own little painting tin out of a Bob Ross mint tin. So I'm actually going to take that along on our camping trip, and I will try to do a plein air type painting with this tin so I can show you that you don't have to get a really expensive traveling watercolor set if you want to go out and go outside and try your hand at some paintings. Now you can see here that I have taken this out to a local cemetery that has a really beautiful mountain view, and I have tried my hand with it, and so far I have been absolutely thrilled with this little tin. I absolutely love it. So I will show you my setup for that, kind of do a paint along with you and show you exactly how this works, because if you do like to paint and travel, this is perfect. Now let's go ahead and get started because I think this is going to be really good. I picked a really simple recipe, but it looks pretty tasty. So let's go ahead and get started. And here's a look at our cookbook. You can see we've got quite a few brands represented. And if you really want to know the full list of who is represented in this cookbook, you can see that right here. Now, this is another cookbook that was done in the 90s when this kind of thing was really popular. And I have to say, I'm actually really impressed with the amount of recipes, number one, that's in this cookbook, but also the variety. You can see we've got lots of really good dips. We have lots of drinks and all kinds of punches. We have our meat dishes. You can see we've also got poultry. We've also got seafood. The pasta is in a separate category also, and this is the one we're going to try right here. It's very simple, but I think it's going to be really good. One of the biggest reasons I picked this one is because I had everything except for the Del Monte tomatoes already. And I really am trying hard to use up what I've got in my refrigerator instead of going out and buying more and possibly wasting food. So this kind of really hit me because I really needed to use up some artichokes, and I already had a zucchini that was waiting on me. The only thing I'm leaving out is the olives. It says optional. Mitch does not like olives. I can just go, either or with them. So I was okay with leaving them out. We've also got a really good looking vegetable chapter. There's a lot of these that I would really like to try also. I think they look really tasty and filling. This one's kind of a blast from the past. I remember a lot of family members making that sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows on top. Oh my gosh, as a kid, I could have ate half the pan on this. I thought this was really fun too, to actually have a brunch and lunch chapter. That's something that a lot of cookbooks often don't think about, but this is really helpful to have. We also have a bread chapter, which I'm really excited about because one of these may actually show up in our bread basket Monday because a lot of them look really tempting and pretty interesting. So a super cute book. Really hope to delve into this some more. I'm definitely going to keep this in my collection, especially if this one we're going to do tastes good. So let's keep our fingers crossed and go ahead and get started. So that prep was quick and painless, which is exactly the kind of recipes I like. You'll need to leave your jar of artichokes out and not to drain that marinade because you're going to need some of that for the overall dish. I've already got this chopped up as you saw, and now my water is boiling like crazy. I've already salted it. So we're gonna go ahead and add our pasta. According to the Barilla Pasta website, 6 ounces of rotini is about 1.5 cups. That's what I'm gonna add now. That's a little bit more, but that's okay. So I've turned my heat down. We're going to go ahead and let that boil. And now let's go ahead and get this heated up and we're going to start the rest of this. So here I've got the rosemary I pulled off and I will go ahead and crush that into the vegetables as we're sauteing. And as far as our name brand, you probably noticed before when I showed this to you, they want a Del Monte pasta style chunky tomatoes. I could not find that anywhere, even in the pasta sauce aisle. So, this was made in 1996. This might be something that they've discontinued. So I went ahead and got the diced tomatoes with basil, garlic, and oregano. I figured that would go really well with pasta. And the diced tomatoes you can see are not very big. The recipe called for chunky. I could not find chunky, but I actually prefer a smaller bite of tomato in my pasta. So this is okay for me. If you can find the other one and you really like that, I'd say go for it. Otherwise, I'd say this Del Monte product is a pretty good substitute. And I think we are ready to add our pasta. Now, I cooked my vegetables for a little bit longer than what the recipe called for, but I just wanted them a little bit done just a little bit more than what they specified. It's mostly still tender crisp, but it's still, you know, a little bit more tender than on the crisp side, which is kind of how I like it. So we're going to go ahead and add our pasta and our artichokes. We're going to give that a really good mix together, and then we will be ready to taste this. It looks good, it smells good, and I love the colorful nature of it. Hopefully it's going to taste good. The recipe also calls for Parmesan to be sprinkled on top. That's not something I can do, so I'm going to use instead my homemade vegan Parmesan, which was made out of cashews and nutritional yeast. It's really good, and so far I've liked it on a lot of other dishes, so we'll see if it passes the test on this recipe as well. All right, we know how salad tastes, so let's go ahead and just do the main course. Get a little bit of everything. Make sure you get a little Del Monte tomato in there.
I think I got a little bit of everything.
You ready? Okay, what do you think first?
That's way better than I expected.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say too. I was like, you know, it's your standard pasta dish. You know, it's probably gonna be like, you know, whatever. But yeah, it is way better. The artichokes, I think, is what really sets it off. Artichokes can be kind of a, especially marinated, they can be kind of an acquired taste. But I actually really like artichokes, and I really like it with pasta. I think this works really good.
Like, the smell was a little bit weird. Like, I wasn't, you know what I mean? But it's still, like, the taste is really good. Like, it kind of all the tastes blend together really well. Yeah,
you kind of keep wanting to go in there to eat, you know, instead of like okay, so we're having we do need to stop and like actually, you know, talk a little bit about it, but it is really hard to keep like from eating.
Yeah.
So that's a really good sign for a recipe. I am pleasantly surprised. This is something I would make again, definitely. You can keep it vegan by using the raw Parmesan cheese, which for me is perfect because, you know,
lactose.
Cheese hates me now. So that's a really, you know, good thing for me. I like that it's a really fast vegetarian main dish, that you can just serve up for a lunch with a good salad, or I don't know, maybe just fill your plate with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt you. It's pretty good. If you really wanted to go the extra mile, swap out this white pasta with whole wheat.
Yeah.
You know, you could do that. I'm just trying to use up what I've got in my pantry. But overall, I'm gonna give this a 4.
Easy.
Yeah, really good. I would highly suggest you try this. So I like the versatility of this. You could even swap out vegetables.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, you know, a really good, quick recipe that you can kind of make your own.
Yeah.
So, woo, kudos. And Mitch, this is the one you had found at the library book sale. So really glad you did, because I am hanging on to this cookbook. I really have enjoyed looking through this. There's a lot of things that I would use. I like the fact that this wasn't just thrown together and, oh, look here, we have, you know, this product and just do this with it. You know, this is actually thoughtful recipes that you're actually going to use and your family's going to eat. So that is really a good aspect to this cookbook. I love the fact that it's super thick. You've got meals for days in this cookbook. I'm sure you could probably find this on eBay. I'll do a little bit of digging around, and I'll try to put a little postscript at the bottom of this if I did find it on eBay. I'm sure it wouldn't be more than a few dollars given, you know, its age. So if you can find this one, especially at your library book sale, grab it, because it's a really good one. And really glad I have it in my collection. So there you go. A great dish from a really fun cookbook that we've enjoyed. And so that is going to actually mark the end of digging through our library cookbooks, which don't worry, we will be coming back to them because you know we got so many. So we'll have to go through another round of them. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of switch it up and start looking at some other cookbooks, maybe some ones I've found on eBay that have been really cool looking that I want to dig into. And then of course we'll have our camping episode where we're going to show some food from that. And who knows, next month is probably just going to be a smorgasbord. So it'll be a fun time. So thanks for watching this episode. Hope you stick around for the rest, and we'll see you then. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.